Hello, Peter. Good evening. Nice to see you again.
Oh, hi, Armin. Nice to see you.
What a surprise.
What a what?
What a surprise.
Every week again, and
it's a
a
surprise.
new surprise, a new surprise.
You're always happy to see a happy face, I know.
Yes, it's enlightening to see once a week a nice face.
Exactly. Yeah, I see every day when I look in the mirror, but it's different.
Okay, it's different with me. I don't always see an old archer in my mirror.
Like this saying goes, God gave you your face, but you need to smile,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay.
So what's going on in Malta?
Sun is shining, restaurants and everything is closed. They don't want to call it lockdown, but actually it's a lockdown. So schools are closed, restaurants are closed. You only can take food takeaway, and you can't even wait inside anymore. So you need to, when you order inside, you need to go outside and wait outside. So it's like everywhere, complete gaga.
So you can't make any date with a girl.
No, you can take the food and sit somewhere on a park bench.
You just can talk to them on the street. So, hello.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then when you get the wrong one, she said, yes, she's very nice. And then you pay for it. No, I'm joking.
But maybe it's not so bad because you switch one station. You had to meet in a restaurant and talk for hours, and so you can say, there's no restaurant open, follow me.
Let's go directly. I have a room, I have a bed. We skip the cinema, we skip the dinner.
Yeah, we skip the whole shit.
Very, very efficient. I see where you're going with this.
So Corona has also its good
it always depends what you make out of it, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see it, you had this idea of this podcast because we sit now at home and cannot do a lot because of Corona. Was one of the reasons we started this. So something good in the bed, so it's fine.
And not only because of this, also because I always thought there's really not one really cool, interesting archery talk on YouTube.
Yeah, this is what I always say. If you want something cool, you need to do it by yourself. So it's easy.
Yeah. A lot of shooting videos and a lot of how-to videos, but not a talk. And I'm really happy if next time we get a third person, we get a special guest, and we can talk about more.
We have a few already in the pipeline, and it will be very interesting. So yes, and we try to get at least once a month an important or an interesting archer in the show. We try at least that we get every fourth session or fifth session that we have an interview.
Archery lady of the month, no? Pin-up of the month.
Jesus Maria. I think we need to send you something. Yeah.
Yes.
I had once it's long ago, there was a fashion show and it was a TV channel, Venere, and then they had always 3 models or 5 models and they had to do some different tasks. And then they called me if they can come for archery. I said, yeah, of course. I set everything up on these 3 really pretty girlies. But then the photographer, so let's take first photos as long as the light is good, and then you show them how to shoot. Said, look, we should do it the other way around, because when they don't know how to hold a bow and an arrow, it looks always so stupid. You have a beautiful girl and she has the bow in a position and it looks simply stupid. Let me give them a quick introduction. They shoot a few arrows and I help them, and then you can take your photos. And then it was a really nice photo shoot. And one of them even came afterwards because she liked it so much. It was nice. Yeah.
She stayed with you.
No. She came for archery, not because of me.
And because you said it with the how you have to teach them before the photos were made.
Yeah, I said I want to teach them first because otherwise it looks stupid.
Yes, I had a very similar situation. They said the same, and I said, okay, but then I don't want to be in the picture.
Exactly.
Because if I'm in the picture and they hold the wrong way, they say, look at this fool.
Yeah. And they came to Malta Archery, and they interviewed me. So of course they need to at least have the basics done and at least be capable of pointing and drawing, kind of. I mean, nobody expects perfection, but at least they need to know what they're doing. Otherwise, you look a bit stupid. No, not with us.
Yeah. So
girls beside you.
Yes.
I know you don't like that.
You know, we are beginners, so we don't know a lot about girls. So let's talk about archery.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a beginner too in archery. You know, I'm learning every day something new.
Me too. With women, it's the same. Like with archery, you never finished learning.
Oh,
You're
of course,
never ready. You'll never know everything.
With
every
area
day
you
get a surprise. Oh, look at this! I never seen this before.
Where did this come from now? Yeah, I didn't expect. Yeah. Tell me more. No, better not. But we can make a session about female archers. We should have a female archers. We need to check what interesting female archers are out there and then get them in the show, huh?
Yeah,
we do that. Idea. Okay, done deal. So what are we talking about today?
I don't know about.
Last time we finished with this archery that we all shoot bow and arrow and about all these discussions and that is almost like a religion. So I do this and only this is the way and I do this and only this. And I had this recent thing that somebody posted this video of Lars Andersen where he claims to shoot 1,000 arrows in a minute. But of course, he only shoots 10, but then he shoots 100 arrows in a minute. And when you have 10 archers, of course, it's 1,000 arrows. And then you read all these comments underneath. Yeah, what, really bad words, fuck Lars and whatever. And I thought, where is the respect? Are we not archers? I mean, why can't I accept someone else doing something? I mean, then every trick shot archer is, forget this one. I mean, what's the purpose of a Byron Ferguson shooting an aspirin?
You're right.
Question all, or you don't question anyone and accept simply everyone. But this discussion started once when Lars in one video shot this wood board because of this Robin Hood movie in front or on the head of a human being. And then everybody, I am done with Lars, even new sensei. I am so done with Lars. He made a half-hour video why he is so done with Lars. How can you shoot towards, you never draw a bow when a human person is in front of you. And then I said, listen, I understand this. I don't like that either. But if you want to be correct, then look at Byron Ferguson. His wife stands on the stage, flips the coin, he shoots the coin. So she is in front of him. You have Laosh Kasai, he rides on a horse, shoots arrows down at guys holding the target. I mean, and then nobody was questioning the skills of Lars. They said, listen, but the string can break or the bow can break and the arrow goes off. It can happen with everyone.
And a flash can hit you.
And even Howard Hill shot the plum of the head of this guy, even if he had a metal head, whatever, under his wig. But still, either all of them or none of them. That's why for me it's always
okay. I agree, but there's one big difference. There's one really big difference,
which is
at first you have to separate target archery, shooting range archery, and showmanship. So of course you are a knife thrower. I know you had this spinning girls and they throw the knives. It's the same thing. You can throw a knife beside a person, but that was the main trick of the knife throwers back then. That's one thing, but that's show. And be sure I did things like that, and you stay on the safe side because you don't like to hit a person's hand in front of 1,000 people. That's for sure. Obviously. But so on a target range, of course, nobody should stand beside the target, and so that's clear. And on the stage, they are professionals. So the thrower is a professional, the assistant is a professional, the archer is a professional. That's a very different situation than on a target range or on a 3D course and so on. That's the one thing you have to keep in mind. And the other thing is, if you compare Howard Hill or Byron Ferguson or I don't know, with Lars Andersen, there's one big difference. They don't say every archer alive today is a fool because they found out the secrets of the past and how it really was and so on. It's a different thing.
But it doesn't lower his skills. He is still, in my opinion, a professional in what he's doing.
No. No, but he's not, let me say, he's, I don't know the right word. He could be a great archer, a great trick archer. Everybody would love, and don't talk bad about him. They wouldn't talk bad about him if he wouldn't have brought up this thing with his very first video. Backweaver archers are stupid, and people who have there on the left side of the bow is stupid, and everyone shooting with the three fingers is stupid. And he has the insight in the big old Chinese and Arab and I don't know Mongolian books, and so he knows everything about it.
I mean, I don't recall that he called them stupid. He simply ran with a backweaver through the woods and showed the problems. When he jumps somewhere, the arrows fall. So
but the problem is not true. The problem is simply not true. And if he shows this problem like this, it shows that he don't knows anything about backweavers.
Okay.
That's the fact. I can show you my backweaver. Not one arrow will fall out if I turn it around. And so that's the difference. And I think that's why they talked bad about Lars, because he had another new game with so many arrows and so on. And he also, as far as I know, said it was like it was in the past in combat and so. And I don't think that that's true. The archers were not Rambos. They were not ninjas. They were not single fighters. They were in units. They were in groups. Of course, in one simple situation, if an archer walked into a tavern or a bar and some guys, maybe he shot three. Okay, but I don't believe it ever happened. And so
but I think it's always better you know that you can do it and you're prepared. I mean, it always depends on the application. It's like with knife throwing, it's not a very practical thing to do in combat because you don't want to throw your knives away. So that's why it's always the question, but there are still good knife throwers out there.
A last ditch, the last thing you would do.
Just but if before you have contact, the last 5 meters, and then you need to think what's too short for the arrow is reachable with a knife, and then you have your hands, or the last knife you keep on yourself. So, but it's still, it's not only one example. I mean, I have so many examples that when I still get sometimes the comment, what instructor are you? You have the arrow on the wrong side, you know, because I shoot thumb release and the arrow is on the outside, not on the inside of the bow. It's still, even 2021 people, I don't know if they don't watch any other YouTube channel or simply make comments for the reason of commenting something. Oh, you have the arrow on the wrong side. What do you know? You know, you can't shoot like this. You pull with the thumb. You need to shoot 3 finger. I mean, and simply don't tell me it's wrong. At least first inform yourself. And then, you know, open your mind a bit and accept that other techniques exist. Like this, the Slavic release, which will be now a very big thing in the future. Because this is one of the most efficient ways to load fast. And it's almost like 3 finger draw, but you have the arrow on the other side. So when you want to shoot fast from a horse or whatever, it's a very, very efficient way to do so. And it will be a bigger thing in the future. 5 years ago, nobody was talking about Slavic release. And I made some videos and then, you know, it's kind of Slavic release.
Look, Armin, it's the same like with everything. If it went into ideology, if only the medieval longbow is the best war bow and the only way of shooting, or only the American longbow, or only the horsebow, or only a kudo bow, only this, and you're there on the wrong side, and why the thumb and not this and not that, that's horrible. Because I don't know, I think once I told you this, when I was in Korea at that big convention of the World Traditional Archery Association, I had to hold a speech, and the core of my speech, maybe someday I can read it, I don't have it prepared, was the longbow shooters making fun about the recurve shooters. The recurve shooters about the horsebow shooters. They all together make fun on the compound shooters, and the Asian archers talk horrible things about the Western archers and the opposite. And they all together hate crossbow shooters. And they all say, oh, firearms are bad. And the firearm shooters say, what about these crazy guys with these bows and strings and so on? So, and all together, we are shooters.
Exactly.
And shooting is a great thing and is hated by a lot of people. Every person who likes arms, who likes weapons, pistols, guns, shotguns, rifles, bows, throwing knives, tomahawks, you name it, is a kind of crazy person. There's some sympathy on the left with very earthy sports like archery or knife throwing. That's okay. But if you say, oh, I like to shoot with a Glock pistol, you are a crazy and a criminal and a murderer and more. So all the shooters should stick together and pull on one rope and say, we are shooters. We love to shoot.
Yes.
We love our arms. We love our bows. We love our guns. We love our crossbows. And we all are shooters. And the shooting ranges are closing around the world. Here around we had a nice, a trap stand, a shotgun range. They closed it because it was too loud. It was that and that and that. And so we are battled from all sides. They fight the shooters. And so we shooters should stick together and say, okay, this guy shoots with that bow and he shoots with a gun, but we are shooters and we are one thing.
We are one. We are all shooters. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the same with bow hunting. Okay, if I would hunt, I would only hunt with a bow because it's so ethical, it's so sporty, and so on. No, it's not true. To hunt with a rifle is also a great thing, and it's you also have to have the ethics and the ability to make it right.
It's always to kill an animal.
It's just a distance. It's just a distance. And so and here we come back to Lars Andersen. He talks bad about other archers. They're crazy because they shoot like this or like that, and only he knows. And that's why he got this fire on this thread on Facebook.
I'm not aware that he said that the others are stupid and only he knows. He simply shows what he is capable of. And I think many are simply jealous because they don't understand what he is doing. I mean, in the beginning, I know Lars since I don't know how many years, he started with a normal takedown recurve bow and shot his 3 arrows on the left side, shooting fast. So about the Saracen archery, certain distance, I think 80 meters or something, at a certain amount of bow length was written in this book. And you need to shoot 3 arrows. And the third one need to be released before the first one hits a target. And that was his first goal. And then he managed it. But he always stood with the back to the camera, so he couldn't see how he shoots because he was still developing and still seeing what he's doing and whatever. And later he changed then to the outside. And then he figured it's way faster because you don't have to go through it. So then it's simply a development. And what he shows is not that he's the only one. He knows better. He simply can do things.
Watch his first video and what he's saying about everything. But Lars Andersen is a good example. You can be the best singer, the best instrument player, guitarist, or what kind of ability you have. But if you're not a good showman, it won't help. You understand?
Yep.
You have to take your abilities, your special tricks in a sympathetic setup.
Yep.
And watch Byron Ferguson. He never says, I will hit that thing. He said, I will try to hit it. So You understand?
Yeah.
Everything he said, I will try it and let's see if I hit it today and like that.
Maybe he spent too much time in archery training and he's not a real showman. Okay, one can accept that, I guess. I can accept
that's true. Okay. That's true. That's true.
But it's fine by me. But he still shoots bow and arrow, like Byron Ferguson, like Howard Hill, like Fred Bear, like I do, like you do.
But
we're all archers.
But there's no excuse to that. You know why? Because I know this because I watched Howard Hill's videos and Byron Ferguson videos. Yeah. And so even Howard Hill said that the commentator said, oh, let's see if Howard Hill can hit that thing.
Yeah.
He knows that he's the yes, they said he's the greatest, but it was always a kind of challenge if he can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that even Lars Andersen, when he grabs the arrow and shoots it back and splits the other arrow in the air, he will not be capable of doing it every single time, I guess.
Of course not.
He did maybe 10 or 20 or whatever tries, and the one
of course not.
So what?
Of course not.
Maybe he should sell it differently.
When I get these comments on Byron Ferguson's videos or even on mine, and they say, what the distance and what this and what that, I say, okay, just do it on the stage. You can make a clip, no problem, but make it live on a stage. And then you talk again about this subject.
500 people around you, then show what you're capable of. The adrenaline is pushing through and you have your stage
right. Of course. And you don't have 100 tries to hit it.
You have one try and you don't even know where to put the arrow anymore because you're...
Yeah. But what also some trick archers or some most people don't know. If you miss a target on stage, it depends on you if it is a problem or if you make a joke out of it.
Exactly.
Because the auditory, the viewers don't know if you did it on purpose. Because they go into your show, they went to your show knowing that you're a good archer. So they think you can hit everything. When you miss, it's very easy to change their mind to let them believe you did it on purpose. So if you say the right thing, if you miss one time, they will applaud, of course.
This is what musicians do when he plays a wrong note. Then he simply repeats it again and plays it a few times, and you think, he wanted to do it like this.
Yeah.
That's it. Stage life. It's different.
Yeah.
So he's a great artist, but he's not the best stage person. Okay. But is it then still okay then to really call him all these bad names, or shouldn't we? Or even if I mean, you tell me now, I mean, you're an idiot. Am I then better when I say, you're an idiot too? It doesn't, I have still respect to you, even if you would say something bad, I would say, okay, it's your opinion. I can share it or not, but so is it a lack of education? What is it that there's no respect in the sports anymore? We all should bow and arrow, from the Native American Indian to Attila, and we all should bow and arrow.
As I said before, I think Lars Andersen had a bad start. He had made a very successful video.
What I just said, even if somebody calls me bad, I bring myself on the same level when I respond in the same way.
And when they criticized him, he made a reply clip, and he don't excuse himself, but he said the same again. But I'm right. My critics are not right. I'm right. And so he's a kind of person, I don't know him in person, but he's a kind of person who don't knows about how to deal with people. That's my opinion. Okay. And the other aspect of that thing is, in the internet, on Facebook, they just easy write, you're an idiot, and so, that forces the bad habits, the bad manners of the folks.
Okay. Yeah. Good. So what are we doing then to unite the archers, at least? Not all shooters, because with gun shooting I have no idea, but at least let we unite all archers.
I think we too do a job. a great job to unite archers, because we have in many ways different opinions. We make different things, and so maybe our viewers see, okay, that guy is very different and that guy is very different, but they agree in the substantial things. We agree.
Mm-hmm.
You like this pose more, or that arrows, and other stuff, other technique.
Yeah.
But so I don't know, and to work in that direction on the internet, on Facebook and so on. So okay, be cool. You know, when I posted a picture with a crossbow, crossbow, and how a sacrilege and like that.
Yeah.
Fun. Why don't should I shoot with a crossbow?
It's interesting too.
It's fun.
I even had a crossbow, one of these pistol crossbows.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
It's fun for a while. Then I gave it away because it was not so much fun, but it was fun for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why.
Everything. Yeah. And that's what I don't understand, because if you're a real archer at heart, you also have to like to shoot with a pistol, because it's shooting. It's fun. Why not?
Shooting, throwing, whatever you can get your hands on.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why. This.
But maybe we overdo this problem. In fact, when they come together, I don't know. When I was in Korea and there were, I don't know how many nations, I think 27 nations from all around the world. And there were Muslims, and there were Buddhists, and there were Hinduists, and there were Catholics, and there were, how they call it in England,
Protestants,
and only the religions. Everyone had different bows and a different style of shooting. And Japanese, it's Shinto, or how it is called there. And all together we were a community. Nobody said, "Oh, fuck this bow," or "you're stupid because you used that quiver." That when they came together, they are a unit. They are united.
Okay.
But on the internet, and if they're far apart, and so, they were very strict Muslims. And I always thought, oh, that's kind of thing. And so they were the most lovable people. They were wonderful people. But if you don't know them in person, you say, oh, these Muslims or these Catholics, or and that's the point. If you come together, I'm not the biggest fan of the UNO or the these big NGOs, and that was an UNESCO thing. And in this case, I said, in this thing, they are right. If you bring them together from all around the world, that connects the people. That's true. That's true.
So the internet disconnects more, or I mean, I had it so often when you hear, these Muslims, said, do you know Muslims? Now you hear it in the news, what they do again, said, do you know Muslims? I was 1 year in a Muslim country, and I had the most positive experience. I can tell. They are respectful, they are kind, they are friendly. So, when you think, or when you get your life experience only from TV and from the news, then maybe you lack something. But then you should not be so judgmental, I guess.
And every party, every part of society does cherry picking. Because if you calculate together all the murderers Catholics do around the world, you say, oh, these Catholics, they are horrible. But if you pick out some Muslims, they do their stuff.
You always in every religion and in every party you have good ones and bad ones. Only because you pick the bad one doesn't mean the whole party is bad or the whole religion is bad.
And they I don't know how to say, they make always the single bad ones they make big. It's propaganda, of course.
Of course.
On both sides, of course.
Yeah,
it's
obviously.
not just the West does propaganda, also the East does propaganda, and the Muslims do propaganda and everything, and the Chinese especially. And that's it. And the only thing you can know, or is like an enlightenment, is propaganda or preparing the news, spinning the news. That's the whole thing. That's all.
Of course.
There's a reality which happens. A car drives into a tree. That's the reality. So you can see, okay, this fucking Green Party, we like to cut this tree so these persons would be alive. Okay. You can say, these fucking car drivers, we like to prohibit, to put all cars away.
No
if
cars
the
anymore.
cars were away,
Exactly.
nobody would have died. So you can say these shit politicians, if they made the lane slower, or the slope another way, they would be alive. So and the group who gets the better spin out of it. So this accident serves their ideology.
Of course.
So if the Greens said, if they drive slower, that will not happen, and if the others said, if the tree was cut, and so on, and who has the most influence into the media can turn out his ideology of the very same incident, accident, and
obviously
effect happens.
And you know what?
Turn it.
And you know what? The car driver died from COVID.
Yes, if he was tested 28.
They scratched the pieces from the tree and they realized, oh, he tested positive. Now we have now a hang up.
Yeah, you have to know. You don't have to believe everything.
There was a nice movie long ago, Wag the Dog, with Robert De Niro, and it was such a brilliant, and it shows exactly how it is. But
like that. Yeah.
So we make up a story because blah, and then news and
the girl should hold a little cat.
Exactly.
And stand in front of this damaged building. No, not here. Just like that. And that's
staged,
true.
Everything's staged.
And that's how the world works.
That's why we need to unite the archers. So archers, can we see that we get together, accept every style, every bow, every whatever, where on which side the arrow is, whatever technique someone is shooting, and whatever poundage he is shooting, because you always hear then, you shoot very good, but you need to shoot this with a war bow with 120, 150 pounds. I said, not everybody, even in war, shot a 120-pound bow. Or when they trained from 8 years onwards, every day, that they may be capable of shooting all day long a 150-pound bow. I don't know. I can't do it with 60 pounds. I max out, then my shoulder doesn't want anymore. So what can I do?
And there's another argument about the war bows and 120 pounds and so on. If you really think about combat, you wouldn't shoot on steel armored enemies like in the Middle Ages. On a usual bulletproof vest, I think an arrow from a 60-pound bow with a broadhead will go through. If they don't use plates, this ceramic plate or steel plates inside, it's a different thing. But it depends on what your enemy is wearing.
And I think these metal armors were not so common because they're quite heavy, quite uncomfortable. And when you see many had only these, whatever, in China they say 7 layers of leather. They are quite hard to penetrate. And then you have your silk skirt underneath and whatever. But and I mean, I had once a theory that because the findings are all bows, they had 150, 180 pounds. And I always think, where did they find these bows? Somewhere in a house, somewhere stored, somewhere safe.
Under the sea.
I think, personally, that every archer, I mean, even in hunters or when you go through, you have one bow which is way heavier than you normally shoot, and you use it for practicing, for training at home or in your wherever you are in your army. You practice with a 150-pound bow, that you can go out then with a 100-pound bow and it's no problem. You can shoot it all day. I had once this
you know, the most scientific approach on this old war bows they had was the Mary Rose bows. You know, they found in that ship, in that sunken ship from Henry VIII. So these bows and also arrows were underwater for 300 years. Okay, then they put it out. They rescued the ship, and you know, we don't know how that chew wood was back then, 300 years ago. We don't know how dry this wood was when they used it. So when they found these bows, they were soaked with salt water also. So it's not so easy to say how strong they really were, in my opinion. Of course, they find the arrows matching the bow. Say, okay, these are like that thick arrows. The spine where this like spine, you know, is like that, and so they were strong bows. There's no,
of course,
no question about it. But you know, to say this is 130 and this 120 and this 150 pounds, I don't know. I don't know, and you don't know if these bows were finished.
Exactly.
If they put it on to the continent and they like to finish it and so on and so
and made
on.
them semi-finished and they finished them at the end.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
And it's the same when you have these composite bows, these Asiatic bows, they are horn, wood, sinew. But when you see when they glue them together, horn even changes over time and gets more stiff. So you get this bow, then 200 years later, and think, oh my God, it's 200 pounds. But maybe when it was in action, it had only 100 pounds or whatever. You never know. That's why there are, for me, still a few question marks. Of course, they shot heavy bows, and there are many guys out there that can shoot the 120, 150-pound bow all day long. And I appreciate that. I like that. I can't do that.
And think about wartime. Think about they have to produce a lot of bows in a short time. So maybe the wood was green a little, was not so dry when they put them out to the troops. You don't know. You don't know.
Of course, they had heavy bows, understandable, because they needed to penetrate or they had to travel for a while with very heavy arrows. This everything understood.
Of course, you have to use the heaviest bow you're able to shoot constantly.
Exactly.
And if you shoot against...
as I just said, even when here, my brother, I told you, there were a few in this, when they go for a 3D parkour, and the minimum poundage is, I think, 50 pounds or 40 pounds for the woman, 50 pounds was it for 3D, I think, whatever. And then I said, look, I have a 70-pound bow at home. I said, for what? Only for training. For training, that my muscles get used, and then I take my 50-pound and it's like nothing. Same there, maybe.
You know what Byron Ferguson says? Byron Ferguson, on every shooting he does on stage or with bow hunting, he uses at least a 70-pound bow. Sometimes 72, but not under 70 pounds. Maybe some 68, but it's 70. And he says everything about 72 to 74 pounds above that draw weight don't gives you any advantage, except when you use a very heavy arrow because you like to hunt,
elephants.
Yes. Very big game or moose and something like that. You like 1,000 grain arrow, then it helps because you should straight the heavy arrow. But with normal arrow weight, with 400 to 600 grain, you don't. He says it's a kind of break-even point. You don't get that force out of the bow what you put inside. What the effort is to draw this bow.
I heard that too. So, yes, that the 65, 70 pounds you reach the maximum kind of, and then you don't get that much more out of it. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. You have to raise the arrow weight, and if you have to raise if you like to raise the arrow weight, it has to have a purpose. You have to have a special idea why you need that heavy arrow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I
think that's true.
Yeah. And then there's me. I'm still happy with my snake bow with 26 pounds.
Great bows.
It's
great
a
bows,
perfect bow.
Great bows.
Yeah.
Perfect bow. Perfect bow. And I like the leather grips you make on.
They are really nice. Because I have here always a little, when you shoot a lot with them, you get here a little hard skin callus because of this handle on the corner down there. And with this leather, it feels way nicer. It's really nice. Feels so like more
for soya eaters, you need a smooth handle.
I need to.
So, yes, how to connect archers in another way? I don't know.
I simply accept that that we all shoot bow and arrow. This is what I always think. The base, when you break it all down, it's a stick and a string and the arrow.
Yeah,
in different
ways. We're all pulling on the string.
And we all pull on a string and we all let an arrow fly. This is no matter how the bow looks like, no matter which technique you use, no matter the poundage, it's always the same.
Yes.
So we are all the same. So
don't make a religion out of it.
Yeah, exactly. This is only because, but this thing, then they get so narrow. They have one thing, and then only this one exists anymore, and everything else is not good anymore. I understand that people get very specific in one thing and very good in this, but the other still exists too. Maybe that was Lars's problem too, that he got too focused on his thing, and then everything else is not existing, and he's not showman enough to communicate it properly.
And I'm sure especially, I don't know about other European countries, but in Germany and in Austria, it's horrible because, an archer has to be unwashed, unshaved, with a leather head, with a beard maybe. Once I was on a fair, a show, archery, a hunting show, a hunting fair, and there were different rooms, big halls. One was hunting clothing, the other was hunting dogs, the other was hunting cars, and so on. And there was one really big room was archery, traditional archery. There was not one compound bow there. And you went in there and you could smell the archers because they were unwashed, stinky, lousy, horrible people. Really, that's true. And they're proud of it. And that's, back then, Howard Hill said he wants to be a gentleman, even in the woods.
Of course. Yeah.
When I was hunting in Idaho with Ned Steen, a great hill-style bower, he always went hunting with a plaid shirt. And in the evening, when we ate and we talked, he came out from the trailer with a camo jacket.
Yeah.
And said, "Oh, you have camo?" Of course I have camo, but I just wear it in camp because in the woods I don't like to look like a terrorist, but like a gentleman.
I understand.
And think about that.
Yeah.
And so archery is a very, very archaic, a very old style, a very earthy thing, and they put one on top. They don't wash and put the leather head on there. I don't know if that's the best idea. So it's the image. That's another interesting chapter, the image of archery to the non-archers.
Yeah.
Because you can be in your pig stable, and everything is fine. But if another person looks into that pig stable, say, "Oh."
Yeah, I had this when we had I told you that I worked in this marketing agency, and then we started archery there. And there we always said, look at all these. It's like a subculture in Germany with all these archers when they run through the woods and look like, just thought that they put the whatever in the face, but everything else, and as you said, stinky and whatever. And he said, but we are not 1,000 years ago. The camouflage, the camouflage of now is the business suit. And that's why we developed then this kind of a bit more elegant looking. We stood outside, shot traditional, but we were looking nice, that was looking like, was looking good.
Yeah.
So that is the camouflage of nowadays. How do you blend in? I mean, we work mostly in the city, not in the forest. So how do you blend in, when you have proper dress, proper clothes?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's also why I say, if you do something, some advertising with archery, so don't make it look old or retro or rustical or like that, because archery is old in it. It's exactly. Old itself. You have to put it in a modern way, because if you have a traditional bow, it's of course it's 100 years
of course
back. Yeah.
But then the new Robin Hood, where Lars Andersen was the trainer, he was wearing then like a leather jacket, with step, with knee, with whatever, kind of a little modern looking. And then people said, "Oh, look, this is not Robin Hood. He had a green hat and a green jacket." So, however you do it, you always find someone criticizing.
It's wrong. Yes. Yes.
You should have not given him the name Robin Hood, because with Robin Hood, everybody sees this comic figure still, or this anime figure with the green hat, with the green jacket, this fox running through from Walt Disney. So
and the green tights.
Exactly.
I like Robin Hood this way. I like him like this is with the green tights, like Errol Flynn was. Classic Robin Hood.
I'm always a little, guys wearing tights, and then you call me a soya eater. Yeah.
Yes, it's a little gay. You're right.
Yeah. Well, why does he have to wear tights? He could wear normal trousers. But I had the same. I have this Manchu dress.
Yeah, but
I have this Manchu dress. Someone in China made it for me. I had a Manchu bow, so I got this Manchu dress, and it's like a coat. And then I took some photos, and some guy answered, "Oh my, look, him in a dress." It's not a dress. Yeah, it looks like a dress with like a skirt. He said, "Yeah, then look closer. It's a Chinese, but you can't discuss with this people."
Yeah, same with some guys wearing kilts, in the woods in Austria and in Germany, and they're very, not very strong men with their kilts, and so I don't know.
Yeah, if you have it in your tradition, but only if you wear it because you want to be different, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what is tradition? I mean, when you check on or in the internet, a tradition means when it's something done for at least 2 generations. Then you can call it already a tradition. So how long do we have now compound bows? 1970? When did the first compound bow come out?
Yeah, 1968 or so.
So it's 50 years. It's 2 generations.
Traditional bow, yes.
So you could theoretically say even a compound bow is now a traditional bow.
Yeah.
This discussion about what is traditional, not some always say, when there's no wheel on it, then it's traditional. But even with wheels, it's already traditional now.
Yeah. I think we talked before about it. The term traditional, when they invented the compound bow to separate because even back then they said, "No, this is archery, this is not archery, this is traditional, this is archery. No, this is traditional archery, and this is compound and what else."
And then the way of aiming, then gap shooting or instinctive, intuitive, or aiming or whatever, then all these need to be always separated instead of thinking we all shoot bow and arrow, no matter how.
Yeah.
I simply like it, this whatever classic way where you don't look at the arrow, you only look at the target with 2 eyes open, but please feel free, shoot your arrows how you want.
And the most bad thing about these are archery clubs. When you like to learn archery, you're new to archery. Okay, there's a club some villages ahead, and you go to this club, and maybe you buy a bow before this. Oh, that's not a bow, that's shit, and you have to have this kind, and oh, that's not an arrow, and so, and it's, as I said, it's like a religious thing. So back then I liked the archery clubs, and I was, as I said before, I was 20 years the president of an archery club and the founder. But I'm not so positive about it anymore, because it's a kind of ideology in every club.
Of course, instead that they're open, but it's always, I don't know why it's like this. Even here in Malta, there's the Archery Association, and then even when you go there with a recurve bow, with a takedown recurve bow, then they tell you, yeah, you can start now, but once you do your examination here and you get your certification, you need to buy this and this bow and this point sight thing, point, how do you get with these needles or whatever, this sight, because you need to aim then and whatever, and you need to this and this and this, and I don't know. I had even an old guy, he came then to my shop in Valletta with his compound bow and said, look, I bought this compound bow, and then I went to the Archery Association and said, no, you can't shoot with this bow here. You need to buy this or this bow. And then I didn't want, then I was looking for another place.
And they do strictly Olympic there?
Yeah.
Olympic archery.
But they shoot longbow too. I don't know how or what. I have no idea. I was never there, so I only know it from people that tell me they do bear bow, and I don't know what else they're doing. But they're quite strict. I always think, okay.
Yes, and separating people, not connecting people, and that's the part we talked about.
This is how, but this is how what mainstream media is doing, and this is how every government is doing. You always have two parties, so people are used to color, religion, race, gender, whatever, archery style, color of it, or whatever. It needs to be separated.
Like a tribal thinking. We are that tribe, and we do this, and this is the other tribe. Yes, and the very same people who say we need diversity.
Other tribe.
We need a lot of colors. These are the people who say, yes, but this group is different than this group. It's very pervert today.
Now what does it require to accept things? Does it need strength that you simply accept others? Is it a weakness that you're afraid of what others are doing?
It's
or
weakness.
Jealousy that others are better? I even had once a positive, because when I was in Germany once near Regensburg, there was an archery club, and they had this press straw, with K, forgot the name. Nice targets, and I wanted to see them.
Straw bale.
But these round ones with this aluminum ring around it, this
also
I forgot the name. They are really pressed, and you shoot in the end grain of the haze. They are quite good, and I wanted to see them, so we went there. And then this guy, if you want to shoot, then you need to fill out your insurance, whatever, blah blah blah. And then he showed me his bow, and I said, let me shoot. And then bam, bam, bam. I said, but it was not now 10 meters. I said, it doesn't matter. How did you do that? I said, I don't look at the arrow. I look at the target. Shall I show you over there with this target? Yeah, show me. Bam, bam, bam. And he was like, but you didn't aim? I said, no, I don't have to. And then he was interested. So there are people, some are interested, and others say, no, only mine exists. Only mine exists.
Yeah. You know what? This kind of tribal thinking. So you go to an archery club, and they say only that type of recurve bow or long bow, it doesn't matter, is the best, and we have this and that, and you're into that tribe. So you see a person of another tribe who has a long bow or an Asian bow or a compound bow, and because you are into that tribe, because you heard about this first, this kind of shooting, you don't like to get insecure. Maybe this is the better way to do it. So you stay with your tribe. There are a lot of aspects why you talk bad about the other tackle, the other bow, or the other kind of shooting, because you like to prove yourself you're doing the right thing. And that's one aspect, and there are more aspects of it, building up to ideology and kind of religious thinking about it. and so you like to make sure you're on the right side, on the bright side of the force, not on the dark side of the force. So, and the crossbow shooters, of course, are the dark side of the force. So I have to talk bad about it, and then you agree. You talk with the other. Oh yes, these are bad ones, and that's a very simple view of the world and of what's going on, and a self. I don't know the right word. You prove yourself you're doing right because you talk bad about the other thing.
Yeah, but as you said, when you were in Korea, then whatever 27 different countries and all religions and all styles and techniques came together, and there was simply one community. But this possibility is now a little taken away with this new restriction. So we need to sit behind our screen, and we need to go to our club or to our range, or we need to shoot at home. So how can we still maintain this community, this feeling of community that we are all archers?
Yeah. So that virus history separates people even more.
Even more, yeah. Helps separating. Easier. Yeah. Because it's so easy to type on a keyboard, hey, you're an asshole. When you stand in front of him, you might have a problem saying it. Yes. So that's why.
Yeah. And so most people who never traveled or never were on another place, in a strange country, in a foreign country, and they sit in the bar and talk about Muslims or Polanders or British or they don't know anything.
Yeah,
but they talk.
Yeah,
and that's the difference. You have to travel there, or you have to meet people from there.
Yeah. But for this, you need to be open-minded, because when you see how people think, it's hilarious.
Horrible.
One of my ex-girlfriends, she was with her parents. They went on holidays and they went along the sea. And then the mama said, there in front, there is a group of Muslims. We go another way. And then my ex said, why we can go there? No, they are going to kill us because our priest in the church said so. He in the church said, listen, these Muslims are all going to kill us. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, of course, I mean, brainwash, and it works. And one day you believe that, and you see them and you act like you look bad at them, and they think, well, I didn't do anything. But when you do it often enough, then they look bad at you back, and then you get this confrontation instead of communication.
Okay. And it's the same thing we talked before. It's the spin you give the propaganda you get.
Yeah, of course. So
and you said they're walking Muslims by and you're afraid and so and so on. This story you just told. And on the other hand, the idea or the feeling our society gives to us that we are secure, that's also dangerous and deadly.
Of course.
Because it can happen that some US guys, some Muslims, some Protestants walk over and kill you, of course. And if you're a woman and you're walking alone in the dark street, you're not secure. And the state, the government can't protect you because they can come to you when it's too late.
Exactly.
So you have to be aware. In fact, you are the blanket of civilization is very thin. In every street, in every wood, in every surrounding, in every setup, there very bad things can happen.
Yeah, but this is about responsibility. I mean, I'm not
self-responsibility.
Exactly, only self-responsibility. I know that I most probably won't go through Harlem in the middle of the night as a white guy. I would not do this. Most probably nothing will happen, but I would not go there because I don't have to force my luck. I don't go blindfolded over the highway because I'm so spiritual, nothing will happen.
And remember back then, you're an old guy too, like me. When we were young, when you went out with a girl, you had to bring her home.
Yes, of course.
Because you never would let her go to the duck at night through the city.
You bring her home and you wait until the door is closed. Of course.
Yes. Not in Germany, not in Austria, which are the very safest countries around the world. But you wouldn't do it back then. Exactly. And today they live in this lie, in this stupid idea the government can protect them.
They don't do anything.
That's not true.
They don't even care.
And they can't protect you. Of course, they cannot.
How
they can say you are safe, but they cannot protect you.
Or they tell you then, like in London, we need more surveillance cameras. You know, that in London, you find every 5 meters a surveillance camera. So there's not.
And we prohibit knives.
Without they filming you.
Yes, and we prohibit knives, so nobody can stab someone.
Exactly.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Then I get a nice screwdriver. It does the same job. You can still have.
There was a nice meme on Facebook because of the shootings in the United States. What can we do to prevent shooting, to prevent the mass shooting? And the answer was shoot back.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah, exactly.
That's the only thing you can. The government can't help you.
Yeah.
And that's a big lie, and that's a lie of the of the left. They say the government cannot do everything for you. If they can even protect you from a virus, but they can't. Of course not.
Of course not. That's why self-responsibility, liability, and you need to know your strength, or you need to know yourself. I don't know, and then it's not a problem. I think when you know yourself, you don't have a problem with others doing things differently than you.
And being aware, you have to be aware. Don't get you in danger. Don't get you in a dark street in Harlem without any racism, or in
whatever.
Hamburg. I don't know.
But you know the corners. I mean, when you travel somewhere, you inform yourself before, and then you know where you should go, where you should not go, and when you go there because you think, hey, I'm such a cool guy. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah, then deal with the consequences. I mean, it's not a problem, but deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, fine. So 1 hour, huh? Blah, blah, blah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did we also talk about archery or just about the world?
Okay. It's archery is a world,
Yes.
It's our world. And we can create it. This is the thing that most people forget. We are creators. We are all creators. We can create a better world.
That's a very important thing.
Yes.
There are only 2 possibilities. If you go into a situation, there are just 2 possibilities. You rule the situation, or another person will rule the situation. It's and like an old, Musashi or like that. You have to rule the situation, and you have to choose the best situation, and so on. And if you say, "Oh, it's just how life is," no.
When you sit on your couch and you think, "Oh, the government will do right," then the government rules, and then you wake up and wonder why you have to run around with a face mask now, as example, because they rule over you. Of course, because you let them. Yep. So that's why we as archers, we create a better world.
In the best case, we rule our target.
Makes sense. Yeah, even the target has 2 chances: to get hit or get not hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Stupid.
Okay. So
fine.
I mean, fine. Cool. Nice talk to you.
So
nice talking.
We leave it. And, you want to answer one question, or we do it in the next session?
Of course. No.
We make a question session next time.
As
you wish. Or as you like it.
One we can answer.
One question. So about community, we talked. What question do I have? Oh yeah, one asked what this meaning is when I say ostra. This is simply a bad word in Maltese. It means ostia. It's the holy bread. They say ostia, but you don't say ostia because it's a bad word. You don't use it. That's why I say ostra. Sounds almost like Austria. And when somebody asks me, I always say, no, I said Austria. So that's why it's
okay.
Yeah. Just so for the information for the guy who asked.
So the thing you get in church.
Exactly. This is the hostie, and in Maltese it's Ostia. And
okay,
you can use it as a swear word, but I don't do this on purpose.
Okay.
So gap shooting. I think gap shooting we talk next time. It's a little longer. Or shall we talk about gap shooting?
Well, it's a bigger thing.
It's a bigger thing. Trick shots. We had trick shots already, and next time we talk about quivers too, because some people ask about quiver position, stuff like this. Then we talk about gap shooting and quivers next time. Archery as a tool for reconnecting to nature. And then he meant Wu Wei, this Chinese of, doing and non-doing.
The very core of this question is a problem to me, because how can you get disconnected to nature? Yeah. It's not possible to live on Earth and be disconnected to nature.
This is mentally being disconnected, being caught up in whatever on your cell phone, on your TV, in your work, and whatever, that you forget about your connection. It's not that you're disconnected, but you forget about your connection, let's say.
Who says you forget about the nature?
I said it now. That they don't remember that you're connected, so that you get this feeling back through archery. But of course, there are many ways to do so. Even if you have a long walk in a forest or it helps too, or you sit somewhere on the sea and look at the waves, and you connect automatically. So but of course, it gets you out of your routine.
Or you have a beautiful young woman.
It connects a lot to nature. Connects a lot,
even in your room.
Then you don't even have to go to nature, because you bring nature into your room. So we don't go anywhere with this question, so we better leave it. So yes, it can.
I said it because it's a kind of I don't know, ideology, or also like a religion, to say, yes, we are all disconnected from nature.
It's like target panic.
Yes, and we have too much stress, and we have that, and we have that. It's not true. It's not true. We are connected to nature. We eat nature. We breathe nature.
But the thing is, it's even if it's made up, but we are all, as I said, we are all creators, and we are now the product of our thoughts from the past. And when you think all the time, like with target panic, I'm disconnected, then you get this experience of being disconnected, even if you are not disconnected. And then you stand one day, you wake up and you stand in front of a void, and you don't know what's going on anymore.
Yes, and a lot of media, and a lot of therapists, and a lot of TV shows and so on say, you are disconnected to nature, but you aren't. Because when I take this pencil and I keep in mind, it's made. I think about what guy cut this tree to make this pencil, and so you're connected in every moment with everything to nature, because everything is nature.
With every breath you are connected already, because you breathe
in every step.
But it's maybe the meaning is a little different. Of course, we all connect, but that you get the feeling back. Of course, archery helps a lot. When you're out in nature, you shoot some arrows. Yes, you can reconnect and get feeling back. It's fine.
I would agree in this way if you say you are making a real kind of survival trip. If you say, I have nothing, I have my knife, I have my bow and some arrows maybe, and I'm staying out, and I'm living out of the land, and then I know what the value of a piece of bread is, what the value of a little fish is, what the value of even a small bird is. I shoot, and then I can roast at the campfire. So you get connected to nature if you're looking at the small things and say, okay, without this little bird, I would have died in 3 days, or without that fish or that bread, or or with some strawberries you find, and so that's a kind of, I would say, okay, that's a kind of reconnecting to nature. And if you went out bow hunting, even rifle hunting or fishing, you experience this feeling.
Okay.
When I go out hunting, I say, okay, if everything is going down, I could shoot the deer. I could make sausage out of it. I can, can make everything. And even with the hide, I could make me a hat or something. And that's a kind of maybe reconnecting.
Yeah.
Or making a bow, of course. When you're out in the woods and say, okay, I make me a green bow, but I can hunt the rabbit with this green bow. That's a kind of reconnecting. But just doing archery in the backyard, I don't know, is it reconnecting?
At least it gives you direction, maybe back to nature.
And the feeling, if you feel connected to nature, then it's okay too.
When it helps you, I mean, for this, archery can be a tool. If it helps you that you feel it back again, then it's fine.
If you think you are disconnected and the archery in your backyard connects you, then it's okay. Then you connect with nature.
Exactly.
Yeah, in that way, it's true. Archery connects you.
And archery connects us all because we're all archers. So
yes,
final statement.
Of course.
Good. Then we have a question at least.
Hopefully the questioner is happy with this kind of answer.
Not sure, but he can ask again or more specific, or he can tell us how he got.
We give him another punch.
Or he can tell us why he thinks he's disconnected, or how he got disconnected. He can tell us. We are open for discussion.
You also can hug a tree, so you don't need a bow and an arrow.
That's true. Yeah. The tree huggers. Yeah. These are eaters are tree huggers. You know that.
Yeah. Okay. So we meet next week.
Of course, as usual.
Same time, same station.
Same time. Same. It doesn't help.
Archery talk, and of course, write us your questions.
Of course.
Subscribe to our channels. Push the bell button.
Yeah, I never said that, but it's fine.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine. And share the video with your friends that everybody can watch.
Okay, share the videos.
Sharing is caring, When you care about, you share us.
Yeah. And and like the video if you learn something, or even if you're angry, like it anyway.
Exactly. Simply like it first and then watch it,
and
then write a comment, and it's fine.
That's the best. That's the right way.
Exactly.
Yes, and write us your questions, and yes, let's meet again next week.
Exactly.
Armin,
thank you very much.
It was nice. Thank you, and thank you, viewers.
Yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for your preserver, how do you call it, endurance, that they last that long with us. It was now already again more than an hour that they still stick with us. Patience. I don't have patience, that's why I don't know the word.
Yes.
I'm an archer. No time for that.
Okay,
thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
See you next time. Ciao.
Goodbye, Armin. Goodbye.